Hello and welcome to another AC on the Go video. I'm Aaron.
I'm Carter.
And we are super excited to be doing this video today. This is not typically going to be the format of our videos. However, last year, at the end of last year in October 2018, Carter and I got to fly down to Atlanta to go to the Atlanta Braves playoff games against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And we thought it would be really cool to sit down and kind of tell some of those stories. We have some video clips that we took from our phones, some pictures we took, and just kind of give you a rundown of that trip and let you kind of experience it through our stories and, like I said, some of the videos and pictures that we have. So let's start from the very beginning. We went in October, and probably the coolest thing to start the whole trip was the fact that it was your very first flight. Mm-hmm. So, talk about, the emotions, because I know, we have some pictures of you, you're, super excited, ready to fly. But, what were those thought processes before we even got to the airport, and when we got to the airport before we got on the plane?
I wasn't really nervous about, crashing or anything. I just really was excited because it was my first flight, and I had always wanted to fly for a long time, and since it was my first time, I got kind of nervous.
But your main thought was, I'm not worried about crashing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. So we got up super early. Our flight was, I can't remember the exact time, but it was early. It was 9 o'clock, I think. So we had to be at the airport at 7:30. We drove down. We rode on the little bus at the Cincinnati. It's a Cincinnati, Kentucky airport. It's kind of a joint airport together. And so you have to park in a lot and then take a shuttle bus over to the airport. So we did that, and then we got inside, and I've been in the Atlanta airport a few times, which obviously is a major airport as far as traffic is concerned and how many people go through the airport on a daily basis. You hadn't been in an airport ever.
No.
So to see the Cincinnati airport was really like a miniature scale. There's only 2 terminals, I think. And so we took the moving sidewalk. You're welcome. All sidewalk, got to our terminal, and then realized we had plenty of time to eat breakfast. Mm-hmm. And so we went down to the food court. What did we? I'm trying to remember what we had.
Chick-fil-A.
Oh, that's right. Classic Chick-fil-A. Being from Atlanta, we love Chick-fil-A. We go there all the time. Breakfast is awesome. So we did. We went and I forgot about that. We went and got Chick-fil-A breakfast. And then we really had plenty of time. I think it took us maybe 20 minutes to get through security, I think. And even that was nothing. We pretty much walked right up and went through security. So that was a breeze.
And we didn't have to check bags or anything.
Oh, that's right.
Check one bag.
That's right. We were staying with my parents when we got to Atlanta, so we decided we actually sent some clothes to them or with them when they were up here visiting us, so that we didn't have to pack a bag and carry the bag. You're right. So that helped a lot because we literally just had a couple of little carry-on bags. Yeah. We were flying Frontier, which comes here out of Cincinnati. It's like a value airline if you're not familiar with Frontier. It's cheaper rates, but I thought all in all it was an easy flight. Mm-hmm. I had a middle seat, and obviously you can see I'm a big guy, so that was fun. And I think so it was one of those 3 seats, aisle 3 seats. And of course I gave Carter the window seat so that he could look out the window for takeoff and all that kind of stuff. I think we have some video clips of takeoff that we'll put in. That's 27.
You said 27.
Or 28. So it was Carter, me, and then probably a guy, maybe my size plus a little bit more, beside us. So I know for sure we were like jam packed. Like, I mean, I even told the guy when he sat down, I was like, I'm sorry. I normally would put my kid in the middle and give us some room, but he's never been on a plane before, so he's got to fly. But what was like going through your head and with the takeoff? I know you got it on video, so you were super excited about that, looking out the window. But like, what was that sensation like?
It was weird. Like, I kind of got butterflies for a second, and it was really loud. And I really didn't, like, on the whole plane, I never, like, did anything, like, read a book. I kind of just looked out the window for, like, the whole hour and some change. So the takeoff was really cool, but the landing, I think, was a little bit better.
Like, better in what way?
Like, it just felt more cool because of the loud jets, and it was, like...
hitting the ground and stuff. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And I don't remember us, like, we didn't hit a lot of turbulence. We had a pretty simple flight. I think it was about an hour. It's really one of those flights where as soon as you're going up, you're starting to come back down again. Of course, the Atlanta airport was totally different. Tons of people. I mean, we were maneuvering through. My parents picked us up, and I think that was where we waited the longest, was the traffic in front of the airport to pick us up. So once we finally got out of the airport, we got through Atlanta, and we had to make our first stop of the trip, somewhere to eat.
Varsity.
The Varsity. The Varsity is like an iconic Atlanta staple restaurant. If you've never been to the Varsity, you've got to get to the Varsity. It's so good. It's your typical, really it's kind of like ballpark food. Fries, hot dogs, burgers, onion rings. What else? Chili dogs. So I think I got the chili cheese dogs, actually, and French fries and onion rings. Their onion rings are so good there. What'd you get?
I got 2 naked dogs with fries and
that's right.
Orange drink, which is like their big thing.
Did you get the orange slushy drink or the frozen orange or the orange soda?
Orange, the frozen orange.
Oh yeah. So that's like a cream, orange cream, like frosted kind of drink.
Slushy thing.
Yeah. But it is so good, and you have to go if you're in Atlanta. They have some little small Varsity restaurants throughout Metro Atlanta, but the one in Atlanta is kind of classic, iconic. You can pull up to. They have like a drive. They don't have like a drive-through like a fast food restaurant, but they have a drive-in section where you can drive up, roll down your window. A guy will come out and take your order. And then they bring your food out on a tray and stick it in your window, and you can sit in your car and eat, like in their drive-through section is kind of what it is. But it's huge. It's a big restaurant in Atlanta, and it is so good. Our main purpose for going on this trip was the Atlanta Braves. Yep. They were finally back in the playoffs again. You haven't really gotten to see a lot of Braves playoffs or experience that. You've seen some really good players, but not like playoff baseball. This was also going to be our first time to SunTrust Park, which is the newest stadium for the Atlanta Braves. We had never been there before. And so it was, not only was it our first time, and actually, even though I grew up through all those playoff years in the 90s, I never went to a Braves playoff game. I had just always watched at home on TV. So this was also mine and his first playoff baseball game ever. And we definitely went to a good one. We'll get into that in a few minutes. But what was your thoughts and your first impressions on the stadium, SunTrust Park, getting there and just taking it all in? What were your takeaways from that?
It was definitely small, and I get it is a small park, but they had a lot of historic things with the Braves, like all the Boston and the Milwaukee and Boston Braves, uniforms and different gloves and the knee brace from when Sid slid. Oh yeah. And all that kind of stuff. So cool. It was really historic, and there was this big touch screen that you would touch it, and it would give you this short documentary about the player that you selected on the screen.
I forgot about that. That was really cool. What were some of the other things that you took away from just being in the ballpark?
They put like these little tomahawks, so like when they did the tomahawk chop, you could see all the stands light up with red.
Oh yeah,
and all that kind of stuff.
For the playoffs, every
Right.
seat got a Braves tomahawk. We get in the stadium. We finally find our seats. We're kind of up the third base side, third base line. We're probably in the middle tier section. We're not like in the upper deck. We're not in the lower deck. Kind of the middle section. Pretty good seats, I would say. Actually, I think because of the smaller ballpark, it really makes for kind of that smaller feel to where you're close to the stadium. I mean, you're close to the field, no matter where you're sitting. So I definitely like that about it. But you're right. Like before the game even started, before they even started the national anthem or anything, like there was a buzz in the stadium. The problem was the Braves were down 2-0 in the series.
Mm-hmm.
So they lose game 3. The series is over. There is no game 4, which we already had tickets
For game 4.
for game 4. But you're right. The tomahawk chop was already starting before the game even started. To start the game, of course, they've got music blaring and stuff going. The Braves have a new mascot, Blooper. And so he comes riding out in a big four-wheeler. And trying to pump up the crowd and all that kind of stuff. And that was pretty cool. Everybody was hyped and into it. They did the whole national anthem, brought out a massive flag that covered the entire outfield. That was really cool.
Please stand and kindly lift your caps. To honor America, let's join the singing of our national anthem, performed by the firefighter duo of Section Chief Mark Ware from Sandy Springs and Lieutenant Rodney Brooks from Henry County. Oh, say, can you see at the twilight's last gleaming through the perilous fight, o'er the and the rocket's red glare. O'er the land of the free and the home of the
And then we were ready for baseball. Before they even took the field, I believe, we have some video of this, like a massive tomahawk chop broke out. Everybody has their red tomahawks, going crazy, doing the chop, and the whole place is just like buzzing. I mean, it's crazy.
But you gotta be louder than that, Braves Varsity. Let him hear you. Let him hear you all across through Cobb County, Bullock County. Make Central Port louder than it's ever been right here now.
Thank you guys for watching part 1. If you want to see part 2, come back next Monday. But don't forget to turn on the AC.